NVIDIA's just announced the Ultimate tier for GeForce Now, and it introduces 4080 GPUs, 240Hz refresh rate, ultra-wide support, and so much more at no additional cost. We're going to be breaking it all down in this video, so let's dive right in and get to it. At this year's CES, NVIDIA decided to showcase GeForce Now Ultimate, and it's going to be replacing the 3080 tier, but there's some things you should know. It's coming in at no additional cost. 3080 members will continue to pay what they pay, and new members looking to subscribe for GFN's Ultimate experience will pay the same price as 3080 members do right now. I've already seen a few discussions online mistaking this, so I just want to make it very clear, it's the exact same price, $19.99 per month, for the Ultimate tier as it was the 3080 tier before it. And yes, all current 3080 members will be switched to the Ultimate tier automatically as well. So what exactly is the Ultimate tier and why is it so exciting? Well, there's a lot to break down, so let's start with the big one. The introduction of 4080 GPUs is not to be understated. Those are extremely high-end graphics cards with a lot of capability. Don't get me wrong, 3080 GPUs are still a crazy good card, but 4080s managed to top that. And one of the biggest things that they introduce is DLSS 3. It stands for Deep Learning Supersampling and is an AI-powered technology that leads to massive boosts in frame rate. And when you combine this with the new SuperPods that GeForce Now is going to be running, capable of streaming at up to 240 FPS paired with NVIDIA Reflex, it's fair to say that you're not going to have to worry too much about latency. In NVIDIA's testing, the new Ultimate tier managed to achieve click-to-pixel latency below 40 milliseconds. That's extremely fast. Speaking as somebody who plays a lot of multiplayer games, I can't stress enough just how impressive that number is. Honestly speaking, it's so impressive that I don't believe it myself, and I cannot wait to go hands-on with it and try it out and tell you all about it. But back to power for a second. I think there was one really interesting statistic worth sharing here. The 3080 tier was already more powerful than the next-gen consoles like the Xbox Series X, but the new GeForce Now RTX 4080 SuperPods will actually deliver 64 teraflops of graphics horsepower to an individual user. That makes it 5 times as powerful as an Xbox Series X. And all that power can be used in a variety of ways, which is why they're streaming at up to 240 FPS, not to mention 4K at up to 120 FPS. And for the first time ever in cloud gaming, ultra-wide support for up to 3840 by 1600 resolution, including other popular variants such as 3440 by 1440 and 2560 by 1080. And personally speaking, the ultra-wide support is something I really appreciate as a big fan of ultra-wide gaming. And that's specifically because I know it's still more of a niche in the grand scheme of things. Most people don't have 21:9 monitors. And the fact alone that it's being supported to me speaks volumes about how GeForce Now is really trying to push the envelope when it comes to cloud gaming, and honestly makes it very deserving of the new Ultimate tag. Now there are still some details we need to know that haven't been shared yet, and I promise you that I will deliver them as soon as they are shared, but that doesn't mean the news stops here, because 2 very exciting games were also confirmed to be on the way to GeForce Now, both of which will support DLSS 3 on the new GeForce Now SuperPods. First up is Atomic Heart, which is set to release this February, and it looks utterly amazing. It definitely gives me some heavy BioShock vibes, which is nothing but a good thing since I really miss that franchise, and what they've showcased so far just looks absolutely stunning visually, and the combat seems frantic and like a lot of fun. Definitely the perfect type of game to put those new 4080 SuperPods to work. The second title, The Day Before, also belongs in that category. It's described as an open-world MMO survival set in a deadly post-pandemic America overrun by zombies. Now, I've actually been keeping an eye on this game ever since it was announced, and I'm gonna be real with you all. I initially had some doubts on whether or not this game was real, but I'm starting to believe more and more. It just looks like everything I've ever wanted in a zombie survival game, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. It's the type of game that I could see easily blowing up if done right. As for the game itself, it's set to release in March. While only those 2 games were talked about at CES, I do want to point out that GeForce Now Thursday kicks up again this Thursday, so stay tuned to the channel for more games real soon. One other really important piece of GeForce Now news that was announced at CES is that it's coming to a brand new device. And that might be a bit confusing considering it's pretty much on every other device out there already, but they managed to surprise me with the announcement that GFN will begin streaming to cars. The automakers BYD, Hyundai, and Polestar will be the first to include GeForce Now. Honestly, very cool to see, and the idea of being able to play your AAA games on the go via your car ride seems like a pretty sick future to me. Now the last thing I need to mention is that NVIDIA has partnered up with AT&T to provide fiber customers and 5G customers on eligible 5G rate plans 6 months of the new Ultimate membership. All details will be linked to in the description below, but with that, we've wrapped up the CES announcements. Personally speaking, I have a lot to say about this, but I'm gonna dedicate it to its own video because I could really ramble on for quite a while. But long story short, I'm super happy that Nvidia is invested in the cloud gaming space because they really are pushing the technology forward. The 3080 tier was already my preferred cloud gaming service and my biggest recommendation to anyone who really wants the best experience possible via the cloud. In my eyes, they set the bar with the 3080 tier when it comes to performance in cloud gaming, and with this new 4080 SuperPod coming in, they're raising it even higher. They didn't wait for anyone to catch up, they didn't have cold feet. In fact, if anything, they're really showcasing their commitment to the cloud space, and I think that says a lot, especially during a time when I think some people are starting to second guess it. Now admittedly, there's still things we need to know about this tier, and once I have all those details, I will immediately share with you as soon as possible. But for now, hats off to Nvidia. There's a lot to be excited for when it comes to GeForce Now users. Now if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a great day. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.